Okay, then let's start with chapter 7, Human Health and Disease. Human Health and Disease. Unit is 8, Unit 8, Biology and Human Welfare. Biology is the youngest of the formalized discipline of natural science. Progress in physics and chemistry proceeded much faster than in biology. Applications of physics and chemistry in our daily life also have a higher visibility than those of biology. However, 20th century and certainly 21st century has demonstrated the utility of biological knowledge in furthering human welfare, be it health sector or agriculture. The discovery of antibiotics, synthetic plant-derived drugs, anesthetics have changed medical practice on one hand and human health on the other hand. Life expectancy of human beings have dramatically changed over the years. Agricultural practices, food processing, and diagnostics have brought socio-cultural changes in human communities. These are briefly described in the following 3 chapters of this unit. Okay, there is a slight biography of M.S. Swaminathan. He was named the father of Green Revolution. So let's read it out. Born in August 1925 in Kumbakonam in Tamil Nadu, Monkambu Sambasivam Swaminathan did his graduation and post graduation in botany from Madras University. He worked in different capacities in large number of institutions in India and abroad, and developed his expertise in genetics and plant breeding. The School of Cytogenetics and Radiation Research, established at the Indian Agricultural Research Institute IARI, enabled Swaminathan and his team to develop short duration, high yielding varieties of rice, including scented basmati. He is also known for development of the concept of crop cafeteria, crop scheduling, and genetically improving the yield and quality. Swaminathan initiated collaboration with Norman Borlaug, which culminated in the Green Revolution through introduction of Mexican varieties of wheat in India. This was highly recognized and appreciated. He is also initiator of Lab to Lab, food security, and several other environmental programs. He has been honored with Padma Bhushan and several other prestigious awards, medals, and fellowships by institutions of excellence. Now that's about MS Swaminathan. Now let's start with the actual chapter 7, Human Health and Disease. Topics: common diseases in humans, immunity, AIDS, cancer, drugs, and alcohol abuse. Health, for a long time, was considered a state of body and mind where there was a balance of certain humors. This was what early Greeks like Hippocrates as well as Indian Ayurveda system of medicine asserted. Okay, it was thought that persons with black bile belonged to hot personality and would have fevers. This idea was arrived at by pure reflective thought. The discovery of blood circulation by William Harvey using experimental method and demonstration of normal body temperature in persons with black bile using thermometer disproved the good humor hypothesis of health. In later years, biology stated that mind influences through nervous system and endocrine system, our immune system, and that our immune system maintains our health. Hence, mind and mental state can affect our health. Of course, health is affected by not only our mind or mental state. It can be affected by genetic disorders, deficiencies with which a child is born, and deficiencies, defects which the child inherits from their parents from birth, infections, lifestyle including food and water we take, rest and exercise we give to our bodies, habits that we have or lack, etc. All these things influence our health. The term health is very frequently used by everybody. How do we define it? Health does not simply mean absence of disease or physical fitness. It could be defined as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well being. According to WHO, that is the World Health Organization, health is defined as the complete well being, complete a state of complete physical, mental, and social well being. Only then can a person be considered healthy. When people are healthy, they are more efficient at work. This increases productivity and brings economic prosperity. Health also increases longevity of people and reduces infant and maternal mortality. Longevity meaning the lifespan of the people. And also in the old times during delivery, there was a lot of infant and maternal mortality, but due to our current facilities of the modern era, that mortality rate has been drastically reduced. Balanced diet, personal hygiene, regular exercise are very important to maintain good health. Yoga has been practiced since time immemorial to achieve physical and mental health. Awareness about diseases and their effect on different bodily functions, vaccination, that is, immunization against infectious diseases, proper disposal of wastes, control of vectors, maintenance of hygiene in food and water resources are necessary for achieving good health. When the functioning of one or more organs or systems of the body is adversely affected, characterized by appearance of various signs and symptoms, we say that we are not healthy. Okay, what is not being healthy? When functioning of one or more organs or systems of the body is adversely affected, adversely meaning badly affected, characterized by appearance of various symptoms or signs, that is what we say we are not healthy, or we have a disease. Diseases can be broadly grouped into infectious and non-infectious diseases. Diseases which are easily transmitted from one person to another are called infectious diseases, like coronavirus. Infectious diseases are very common, and every one of us suffers from these at some times or the other. Some of the infectious diseases like AIDS are fatal. Among non-infectious diseases, cancer is the major cause of death. Drug and alcohol abuse also affect our health adversely. Now, coming to that's the introduction. With introduction being over, coming to common diseases in human beings, a wide range of organisms belonging to bacteria, virus, fungus, protozoans, helminthes, etc. could cause diseases in man. Such diseases causing organisms are called as pathogens. Most parasites are therefore pathogens as they cause harm to the host by living in or on them. The pathogens can enter our body by various means, multiply and interfere with normal vital activities, resulting in morphological and functional damage. Pathogens have to adapt to life within the environment of the host. For example, the pathogens that enter the gut must know a way of surviving in the stomach at low pH and resisting the various digestive enzymes. Okay, a few representative members from different groups of pathogenic organisms are discussed here along with diseases caused by them. Preventive and control measures against these diseases in general are also briefly described. Okay, coming to the first disease, Salmonella typhi is a pathogenic bacterium which causes typhoid fever in human beings. These pathogens generally enter the small intestine through food and water contaminated with them and migrate to other organs through blood, sustain high fever 39 to 40 degrees, weakness, stomach pain, constipation, headache, loss of appetite are some of the common symptoms of this disease. Intestinal perforation and death may occur in severe cases. Okay, how does this Salmonella typhi, a pathogenic bacterium, affect? Okay, all about this disease caused by Salmonella typhi. It is a pathogenic bacterium. It causes typhoid fever. These pathogens generally enter the small intestine through food and water contaminated. When we eat contaminated food and water, contaminated meaning when the bacteria is in the food or water we are consuming, at such a case, from our ingestion of the contaminated food, the pathogens will enter our stomach, survive in the stomach, and then enter our small intestine. And we know that there is a absorption of nutrients taking place in a small intestine where it has large finger-like projections called villi, and those absorb nutrients, and they have large quantity of blood vessels. So through those blood vessels, this Salmonella typhi will enter the blood and spread to various other regions of our basically organs through blood, will migrate to other organs through the blood. The symptoms are basically it will go through food to our small intestine, and from small intestine to other organs from blood, through blood. Symptoms are high fever 39 to 40 degrees, weakness, stomach pain, constipation, headache, loss of appetite. These are the common symptoms of this disease, the main being high fever. And there is also intestinal perforation, and in a very severe case, very high infestation or such a case, it can even lead to death. Typhoid fever could be confirmed by Vidal test or Vidal test. A classic case in medicine, that of Mary Mellon, nicknamed Typhoid Mary, is worth mentioning here. She was a cook by profession and was a typhoid carrier who continued to spread typhoid for several years through the food she prepared. I'm not sure why there is a colon here instead of a full stop, but that I believe should be a full stop and not a colon. Anyways, typhoid fever could be confirmed by Vidal test or Vidal test. Now there's a extra fact given, a classic case in medicine, like there is a person named Mary Mallon. She was nicknamed as Typhoid Mary. She was a cook by profession and she was a typhoid carrier. And she continued to spread typhoid for several years through the food she prepared. Bacteria like Streptococcus, okay, coming to the next disease, Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenzae are responsible for the disease pneumonia in humans, which infects the alveoli. As a result of the infection, the alveoli gets filled with fluid, leading to severe problems in the respiration. The symptoms of pneumonia include fever, chills, cough, headache. In severe cases, the lips and fingernails may turn gray to bluish in color. A healthy person acquires the infection by inhaling the droplets, aerosols released by an infected person, or even by sharing glasses and utensils with an infected person. Dysentery, plague, diphtheria, etc. are some of the other bacterial diseases in man. Basically, pneumonia, the second disease we talk about is pneumonia. It is caused by Streptococcus pneumoniae or Haemophilus influenzae. This disease, what this disease does is, this bacteria will get accumulated in the alveoli and lead to fluid accumulation in the alveolar cavity. Will just go to the these bacteria will just go to the alveoli and lead to excess fluid secretion, or fluid will just get accumulated in the alveoli basically. And due to which, when there is fluid in the alveoli, where this is the main unit of gas exchange, the gas exchange will drastically reduce, and this will lead to many problems. As a result of infection, the alveoli gets filled with fluid, leading to severe problems in respiration, as the gas exchange is severely obstructed due to the fluid filled cavity. The symptoms of pneumonia include fever, chills, cough, and headache. And it is, in severe cases, the nails and leaves may turn gray to bluish. How a healthy person acquires this disease, it is similar to corona. It can be spread by inhaling droplets released by infected person, sharing glasses and utensils with an infected person. Those are how it can be infected. And next, dysentery, plague, diphtheria, etc. are some of the other bacterial diseases in man. These are also diseases caused by pathogens of bacteria. Many viruses also cause diseases in man. Rhinovirus represent one such group of viruses which causes one of the most infectious human ailments, the common cold. They infect the nose and the respiratory passage, but not the lungs. The common cold is characterized by nasal congestion and discharge, sore throat, hoarseness, cough, headache, tiredness, etc., which usually lasts for 3 to 7 days. Droplets resulting from cough or sneeze of an infected person are either inhaled directly or transmitted through contaminated objects such as pens, books, cups, doorknobs, computer keyboard, or mouse, etc., and cause infection in a healthy person. I believe I don't need to repeat the symptoms or how a common cold is caused, but I will repeat what is the virus that causes it. It's called a rhinovirus. The rhinovirus represents one such group of viruses which causes one of the most infectious human ailments. Okay, now some of the human diseases are caused by protozoans too. You might have heard of malaria, a disease man has been fighting since many years. Plasmodium, a tiny protozoan, is responsible for this disease. Different species of Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium malaria, Plasmodium falciparum, are responsible for different types of malaria. Of these, malignant malaria caused by Plasmodium falciparum is the most serious one and even can be fatal. Plasmodium falciparum causes the most fatal malaria. Okay, now let us take a glance at the life cycle of Plasmodium protozoan. Glance at the life cycle of Plasmodium. Plasmodium enters the human body as sporozoites, an infectious form, through the bite of an infected female Anopheles mosquito. The parasites initially multiply within the liver cells and then attack the red blood cells. Okay, when the mosquito bites the human being, this is the female Anopheles mosquito, very famous. The disease, that is the Plasmodium protozoan, will enter in the form of sporozoites, enter the blood in the form of sporozoites, and it will reach the liver. It will reach the liver and then multiply within the liver. This is asexual reproduction. They will multiply or replicate themselves within the liver and then come out and then attack the red blood cells. After they first thing, blood to liver to again blood. Here it is, sporozoites multiply and come to the blood, and they will attack the red blood cells in the blood. They will attack the red blood cells, divide in the red blood cells, and rupture the red blood cells. The rupture of the red blood cells is associated with a toxic substance called hemozoin, which is responsible for the chill and high fever recurring every 3 to 4 days. When a female Anopheles mosquito bites an infected person, these parasites enter the mosquito's body and undergo further development. The parasites multiply within them to form sporozoites that are stored in the salivary glands. Okay, basically, they go to blood cells, multiply and enter red blood cells, and blood cells rupture. This is a continuous process. This is the main problem with the basically malaria plasmodium disease, which goes on destroying the blood cells. And as blood cells just rupture, a toxic substance called hemozoin is released, which is the main cause for the chills and fever. And this is when a mosquito, a female Anopheles mosquito, again bites the infected person. The blood will enter the mosquito, and from there on it will develop inside the mosquito gut, form sporozoites, reach the mosquito's salivary gland, and it will multiply there to form many sporozoites. And when this mosquito bites another person, that person will go through the same cycle. When these mosquitoes bite a human, the sporozoites are introduced into her body, thereby initiating the events mentioned above once more. It is interesting to note that the malaria parasite requires two hosts, human and mosquito, to complete its life cycle. The female Anopheles mosquito is the vector, a transmitting agent. This is a small cycle showing the stages in life cycle of Plasmodium. First mosquito bites human, inject with the it will inject the sporozoites. These parasite sporozoids reach the liver through blood. The parasite reproduces asexually in the liver cell, bursting the cell and releasing into the blood. They will release into the blood, and they again enter the red blood cells and reproduce asexually in the red blood cells, bursting the red blood cell and causing cycles of fever and other symptoms. Release more after they undergo asexual reproduction. Again, more number of this parasite is formed, and these released after the red blood cell ruptures, these released parasites will infect new red blood cells, where sexual stages of gametocide. Okay, basically there will also be sexual stages, that is gametocytes, developed in the red blood cells, where one will develop into a female, one will develop into a male, and these both will sexually reproduce to form gametocytes, or basically this will again form into sporozoites, and this will be intaken by a mosquito again. Female mosquito takes up gametocytes with blood meal. Fertilization and development take place in the mosquito's gut, and this forms more sporozoites. More sporozoites, mature infective stage sporozoites, escape from the gut, migrate to the mosquito's salivary glands, and the cycle repeats. This is the place where it's a mosquito host. This is the place where it's a human host. Now coming to the next disease, Entamoeba histolytica is a protozoan parasite in the large intestine of human, which causes amoebiasis, amoebic dysentery. Symptoms of this disease include constipation, abdominal pain, cramps, stools with excess mucus and blood clots. Okay. Okay, first thing, the disease name is amoebiasis or called amoebic dysentery. It is caused by protozoan called Entamoeba histolytica. Disease name is amoebiasis caused by protozoan called Entamoeba histolytica. It is a parasite that is going to attack the large intestine. Symptoms of this disease is constipation, abdominal pain, cramps, stools with excess mucus and blood clots. Okay, how this disease is spread? Houseflies act as mechanical carriers and serve to transmit the parasite from feces of infected person to food and food products, thereby contaminating them. Drinking water and food contaminated by the fecal matter are the main sources of the infection. Okay, so maintaining of proper excretory waste disposal and hygiene is one of the main ways to avoid getting this disease. Okay, coming to the next disease, Ascaris, the common roundworm, and Wuchereria, the filarial worm. Both are parasites. Ascaris is the roundworm, Wuchereria is the filarial worm. Are some of the helminthes, which are, just a minute. Okay, I will be ending the stream. I'll continue the part. I'll do the next part later, hopefully. Okay then.